What's going on, guys? Alain Gonzalez here, MuscleMonsters.com, and I want to welcome you to another episode of Ask Alain, where I take your questions directly from my Facebook fan page and answer them right here in one of these videos. Alright, you're probably asking yourself two things. Why is he wearing a hat that doesn't match, and why is he standing awkwardly in a corner? Number one, I need a haircut, and number two, my phone's dying, and this is the only spot with decent lighting that I could find where I could charge my phone and film. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Well, actually, first of all, let me just say thank you to everybody who asked a question, and I got tons of questions, and I will be answering most of them. However, I'm going to break it down into 3 separate episodes because there's so many. So if I didn't answer your question in this video, stay tuned for the next one. Alright? So Brandon Spruill wants to know more man's muscle building food. Eggs, tuna, tilapia, sweet potatoes, avocado, oats, green vegetables, brown rice, almonds, protein powder. Will this work for a lean bulk? Absolutely. These are all nutrient dense foods that I would recommend for a lean bulk. Alright? Robert Spies, good trap building exercises. I'll give you 2 of my personal favorite, actually 3. First is a basic barbell shrug, where you'll take the Olympic barbell and you'll shrug, and you really want to contract the traps at the top and bring the weight down slowly for more time under tension. You can also do shrugs using a cable with a rope or a straight bar, and then upright rows as well. And those are just 3 of my favorites, but certainly not the only ones. Alright, Eric Ortiz, what are some good exercises for building calves? I personally like just the basic calf raises. What you want to do though is you want to make sure that you're not just pumping them out. Alright, that's not doing anything for your calves. You want to come all the way down, pause for a few seconds, and then slowly come up all the way onto the balls of your feet and really squeeze for another second or 2, and then bring it down slowly. And you want to use a basic hypertrophy rep range. For the soleus, which is the outer part, the smaller part, what I would recommend doing is maybe some seated calf raises with a higher rep range, maybe 12 to 15, to really burn those out before you do your calf raises. That way you're not using too much soleus when you are training the gastro, the main part of the calves. Alright, and that is a little trick that I learned and I'm using from Ian McCarthy, so shout out to him. Alright. Stoke You Music, my shoulder day is right after my back day, so my posterior deltoid gets a really good workout. Is it okay if I don't train him in my shoulder day? It's totally fine, but you got to remember that the posterior delt during your back training is not really as isolated as possible. And although it does get hit, probably enough to stimulate growth, I would still at least do 1 posterior delt exercise during my shoulder training. But that's totally optional. And it also depends on how much it's lagging. Alright. Prince Kane, I've been working out for 10 months, but I don't see great results. In any advice of how to build more and gain more weight? Thanks. Prince, that is a great question. However, I just did a video that answers that exact question. For anybody who's been training for some amount of time, who's just not seeing the results that they were seeing before, and it's going to go over 3 things that you really have to look at in order to continue to progress. Alright? So I'll put a link to that in the description. Luam Brainiac Shidu, hey Alain, do I really have to count all my calories like how a bodybuilder would? Do you really have to? No. Do I recommend that you do? Absolutely. At first it might be a little easier to just eat more and gain size. However, at some point you are going to have to take a more calculated approach. Now, don't get me wrong, there are people out there that never count calories, who just happen to hit those magic numbers just by eating. Typically it's a more advanced lifter, and sometimes it's not. However, if you want to ensure that you're eating enough and that you are going to grow, then I would definitely count your intake. And then I'll take this as the last question, and then we'll move on to the next episode. Stephen Roberts, how can I gain muscle mass but stay toned? Stephen, that's a great question, and I think what you mean is stay lean so that you can see the muscle mass. And you're going to do this by doing a lean bulk. And instead of boring you to death with some long explanation, I'm going to post a link in the description to an article I wrote. It's a formula for calculating your macronutrients for building muscle and not building too much fat in the process. All right, so this is going to allow you to gain muscle size without putting on fat. And you will put on fat over time, however, it will be very slowly. All right, so for the majority of your bulk, you will look nice and lean, all right, or toned as you like to call it. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to click the like button below. If you want to get your questions answered, make sure to head over to facebook.com/muscle monsters, like the page, and when I post a status stating that it's question time, you leave your question and I'll answer it right here. Also, real quick, before I let you guys go, you guys have been asking me to put out some shirts so that you guys can support, and I really appreciate it. And I finally went ahead and went through with it. I put together some shirts. They're in the process of printing as we speak. If you want to check out a rough design or roughly how the shirt is going to look, head over to the Facebook page. I got some pictures there for you to check out if you're interested. If you want to see or follow me on Instagram, it's @MuscleMonsters, and that's pretty much it, guys. If you want to see more videos, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.